Hello everyone, how are you? Welcome back to another video. I wanted to come on and do a budget closeout for my first paycheck for the month of March. Payday was March the 6th, but I did receive my paycheck on March the 4th. See how I did with this particular paycheck, if I stayed on budget or if your girl got a little off track. So let's get into it. W-2 income was $2,210 and I had a rollover of $184. So what I budgeted for this particular paycheck, I usually split everything in half. So half of this amount is what I probably budgeted for, but let's look at the actuals. So I did do half of my tithing. I paid that on Sunday for my mortgage. Now my mortgage, I sometimes I'll split it in half. Other times I may just kind of juggle it around a little bit, but best believe on the first, the money is there. I had budgeted half of that amount, which was 700. As you can tell, I did 400. But just stay tuned. You'll see what happened. And you know I'm paying my mortgage on April 1st, right? Actually before. All right. Electric, I budgeted half. Didn't put anything towards it. My TV streaming service that I use, that's $29 per month. I paid that. For my cell phone, I have paid so far $311.43 towards my cell phone. I need to go on and pay tonight. Tonight's the 12th. The remainder is due tomorrow. For internet, I did not pay anything. For Apple Family, I did not pay anything. HP Inc., I did not put anything aside. All right. Not looking good here. Car insurance. The bill was $176.33, not $176.37. I paid that full amount. Ring plan, nothing. Life insurance is automatic, so $25 did go to life insurance. So this is the thing about a budget. What I budgeted and what happened are two totally different things. So this is what truly happened on this paycheck. All right, let's go and look at my debt. I typically try not to pay debt from my main paychecks. I try to use my second job for those. So I did have to pay my Capital One credit card, however, that's due on the 6th, and that's $60. My AC loan, nothing. This debt, I went ahead and paid half, and that's $42.60. So I just owe the remaining half, and that debt will be done. I do pay half on my car payment. That's $250. I paid that online. Sparrow is the minimum amount due is 35, and I have budgeted 50. And then on this card, this is a debt that I'm paying for. I put my son's airline ticket on there, which was like 600 and some odd dollars. So I'm almost done actually. So this 200 makes $400. I only owe 200 more on that card, and that shall be done. So I did pay that, and I didn't do anything on this one. All right, so towards debt, I paid 587.60. Now, allowance. I have the USA. Okay, this is where my not being disciplined came into effect. But one of the things I said for my goals for March was to try to control either my emotion, more so my emotions when it comes to spending. So for is March is supposed to be my month of discipline and overflow. Every skipped purchase makes me stronger. Temporary feelings do not deserve permanent purchases. And I work two jobs. My money will work for me. In March, I pause, I pray, I plan, and then I purchase. So let's look and see how I did with this variable thing. For allowance, I budgeted 40. I spent 11, and maybe dining out, I budgeted 40. I spent $10.68. Gas, I did do half. I put 40 on my card for my gas because I use that app. But what I did was, because now I have extra money left over for gas, because on the app I did have $10. So when I filled up my tank, I used the $10 from the card, and I only spent $27 from the amount that I put on my card. Giving, here we go. This is where it came into effect. So out of my giving, I had budgeted $10. And what I did with that $10 was my coworkers. I treated the young adults that I work with on the weekend. I bought a dozen donuts that Saturday morning. So that was that $10, right? And then I gave $20 to my church home in Georgia. So next, the local high school basketball team is going to state, and they asked for contributions. And because it was a school that my son played at, and every time he went to play in the state game, people donated and gave. So I went and bought like water, Gatorade, snacks, and all that stuff. That just something that I do, and I didn't you never know if you're going to States until, like, at last minute. So, I ended up spending, I think, like, $62. That's 92, and then one of my coworkers, a manager, ended up going in the hospital. We all gave a donation towards some flowers and a card. So that's where the remainder of the money went. So that was my giving. That's my giving for the month, but I am a firm believer in giving. Okay, so grocery, I had budgeted 300 for the month, and I budgeted 150 for this paycheck. When I went to Publix when I got paid and spent 117. I knew it was under 120. But then when I went to BJ's to get the items for the girls' basketball team, I bought like some more stuff. So that's why I'm at 193.74. I didn't do anything for my hair. I actually pulled that money away and moved it up this way. And I just did my hair at home. Household, I did spend $21 on household. Nothing for lawn care. I went out and did my own stuff in my yard. And then unexpected 80 is this money I pulled from what I had put aside for my sinking funds, and I ended up giving that to someone. All right. So half of this should have been 350. As you can tell, I did 457.43. But the grocery and the giving is what got. All right. Next, subscriptions. The only one I paid was Tella. Tella is actually what I'm using right now to record on. The first video did very well, so I'm going to see how the second one does. If it doesn't do like I need it to, then I will be done with this one. So next is my sinking fund. So because I pulled a lot of that money and used it for here, the only thing that got money this time was car maintenance and car registration. And I had to pay my Microsoft because the money that I did have set aside for that, I had to pull and use to help someone who has been really like going through on something. So that was 129 on that. All right. And I think it's been weighing on me. And I think that's why I've been feeling kind of the way I've been feeling, is doing a little bit too much than what I should be in certain areas without going into a whole lot of detail. Next is peace of mind. I had only budgeted $30, which was this for the blessed ladies, and I never record my video. I hope they know that I am doing. How would they know if I don't record the video? So I had budgeted $30 for this one. I put 50 aside. And then for peace of mind, what I did with peace of mind, I was on, I don't know if you have maybe Federal Credit Union, but if you happen to have maybe Federal Credit Union, they have this thing called an Easy Start Certificate. And what you do is you set it up. You have to put at least $50 a month into the account. And you can do 12, 18, or 24 months. You put that money aside. You can't touch it for 12 months. So that means you still got to create your regular savings and use my saving muscles. That's what, we say we have to use muscles and brains and all this other stuff. And I think that's why a lot of people do saving challenges, because to exercise your saving muscles. So this one I did with maybe Federal, and I have to put $50 every month in, and I can't touch it for 12 months. So it builds me up to get used to saving without having to pull back out of those funds, and then create other savings like this one or my sinking funds for those things that I do need. All right, so that's that. And I mean, I can still pull this out if I truly need to, but we're not doing that. That came from me doing this video before. Okay, so that's it. I still have $25 left over. So that's what I did with this paycheck. I didn't want to come on and show, because I actually do. I always show me budgeting, but I never really come back and show too much of how everything went. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you and all of your support. And I will catch you in the next video, which will be my budget video for my second paycheck. Have a blessed, wonderful day, night, whenever you're watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.